exhibition of the blessed South American football. He's now the president of the South American Football Federation, has described the Copa America so far, and of course no team is blessed with the great talents of the world's most popular sports more than Brazil. Let's hope we see that talent on display tonight. So the reigning champions, Brazil, odds-on favourites to reach their third successive Copa America final and go on to retain the trophy against the surprise finalist Uruguay. Things really couldn't have worked out much better for Brazil over the last fortnight here in Paraguay. They eased their way through a comfortable first stage group, then disposed of their most feared opponents, Argentina, in the quarterfinals, and now face a Mexico team that they've already beaten, of course, in this stadium 11 days ago. Surely no one can stop Brazil now, or is there to be one more twist in a tournament that's certainly been full of surprises so far? Byron Moreno from Ecuador, the man in charge tonight. The Brazilians coming here at full strength, and their coach Luxemburgo has named the same 11 which defeated Argentina 4 days ago. Ronaldo scored the winning goal in that quarter-final, now top scorer in the whole competition with 4 goals. And Rivaldo, who was also a scorer against Argentina, has promised apparently not to be so greedy. He's been the subject of criticism that he doesn't pass the ball to his teammates often enough. We shall see. Mexico are strengthened by the return of their highly talented striker Blanco, who was suspended, you may remember, from their quarter-final against Peru for what I thought was a harsh sending off in the group stage. And he now resumes his very effective partnership with Hernandez in a Mexican attack which arguably possesses as much ability as any in the competition. Still no Lara and Chavez, the 2 players suspended after positive drug tests. Brazil bidding to reach their 3rd successive final in the Copa America. Mexico with an excellent record themselves. 3 previous Copas entered, beaten finalists in the first attempt. And since then they've reached the quarter-final and now the semi-final for the 2nd tournament in a row. Craig Brown, the Scotland manager, well, it's always a delight and a pleasure to watch Brazil in action, Craig. But Mexico, you know, they've surprised a few people already in this tournament. Can they spring the biggest surprise of all tonight?
I think they've got a chance. I would expect the form book to be right and Brazil would progress to the final, but with the one we see here, Campos and Ball and Hernandez up front, I think Mexico could pose them problems. They will miss Lara in midfield and Chavez, but I think they've got good alternatives in there, and we expect some younger players, Torrado and Terrazas, to perform well in midfield.
Muchas gracias.
And the crowd and players call for a moment's silence for the death of a local dignitary. So we're all set to go. Brazil, the only team still unbeaten here in Paraguay in the Copa America. 10 successive victories now in this competition over 1997 and 1999. It's a fantastic record that few would expect to end here against Mexico. But with Blanco in the white boots taking the first throw in there, back in the side, and Palencia alongside Hernandez in a very adventurous-looking Mexican lineup, anything is possible. And certainly from the team selection tonight, Craig, Mexico look as though they're going to go for this.
Very positive indeed. We're just having a look there, and it looks like Hernandez and Palencia up front with Blanco just playing off slightly left of them. If they remain like that, a very positive, almost a front 3 against Brazil. I think designed to retain the fullbacks of Brazil in the fullback defensive positions and not allow them to go charging forward, which is of course their favourite ploy.
Match being played in Ciudad del Este, Brazil's 5th match in the competition in this very same stadium. And they tried to get the final switched to here as well. Pretty big assumption that they were even going to be there, and that request was very quickly thrown out by the South American Football Federation. Zé Roberto in possession for Brazil in the yellow shirts. need we add? That could be a testing cross for Campos, who's not the best in the air, you have to say. He's extravagantly dressed and extravagantly acted goalkeeper at times. He certainly, the word orthodox would not appear in his vocabulary, that's for sure.
Well, he played in all 4 games in France in the World Cup and did well. And as you said, a colourful character. I think he'll have a bit of work to do tonight.
Carmona, the only Mexican player who's played in all their previous matches, losing out. Amoroso. Cafu, as usual, raiding down the right-hand side. One of Brazil's most experienced players, and their captain, of course, since Dunga retired from international football following last year's World Cup final, in which the Brazilians performed so disappointingly. And it's more important than ever to them that they regain a little pride, if you like, by doing well in this Copa America, and that they've certainly done so far. And here goes Blanco for Mexico. Typical surging run forward, very positive, checked by Emerson, free kick to Mexico.
He's the man that will cause them danger. He's in that position just off the front. We sometimes call it the Spiff's position there, with not a great deal of defensive responsibility, but he can be in there floating, and Emerson will have to tuck back in front of the back two there to defend him, because he's going to make these surging runs throughout the match, I predict.
Might fancy the free kick himself here, Blanco. He's twice scored against Brazil in previous internationals. Although in behind him, the central defender Marquez taking an even longer run-up. Well, it is going to be Blanco. And Dida watched that sail over the bar rather contemptuously, the Brazilian goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's no threat with that one at all. That was a very disappointing free kick from a dangerous position. Not Blanco's normal delivery. He takes the corner kicks, he takes the free kicks, and he does so usually with great expertise, but not on that occasion.
25th international this between Mexico and Brazil. The Mexicans have only won 3 times. Defeats include a hat-trick of reverses against Brazil in World Cup finals down the years. Here's Rivaldo. Is he going to make good his promise? Yes. Easy, simple ball to Zé Roberto. Roberto Carlos returns it to the midfield player who lost his defender. Mexico getting men behind the ball quickly. Here's Emerson for Brazil. Oh, it's a great effort, and Campos had to take off to his right to turn it behind.
Yeah, terrific shot there from Emerson. He broke from the back. He's normally just sitting in front, as I said, at the back, but there, what a vicious shot that was. He struck it magnificently, and a flamboyant dive and a great save.
Emerson missed one of Brazil's previous matches through suspension. And they could have had a goal there. The defender right in front of Campos was perfectly placed. Mexico have got away with the first real threat. Cafu coming to win it back for Brazil. Already moving into gear here. Captain's given it away this time. Pardo with the interception.
Yeah, typically threatening from Brazil at the beginning. The corner kick was very good, an excellent header, and Mexico would have let off there.
There's Blanco, really determined to make his mark tonight. Hernandez lost control, that's unusual for him, very gifted player, but as soon as you give it back to Brazil, you can live to regret it. Rivaldo spreading play, a little too strong, that ball for Ronaldo down the right-hand side, although he gives him the thumbs up for the intent, if not the delivery.
Yeah, good team spirit there. They're acknowledging the attempted pass, and I like to see that. Even the superstar Ronaldo pleased with his colleague. I would say the 2 most famous players, Roberto Carlos and Ronaldo, linking well, attempting to link well there.
Suarez, one of Mexico's most experienced players, the flick on by Blanco. Hernandez almost getting in behind the last defender. But Brazil's ability to just inject pace and change defence into attack in an instant, one of the key parts of their game, not just incredibly gifted players, but there's pace and athleticism about all of their players in the famous yellow jerseys. Particularly this fella, Cafu, who's like an outside right in old-fashioned parlance rather than a right back. Emerson in the middle of the field. Strings it together very effectively. Conceição finding the centre-back Antonio Carlos. Ronaldo loses possession, however. Suarez for Mexico. And you quickly turn into danger. Then it's Brazil who perform the opposition. Torrado finding Palencia. He's gifted it back rather too easily to Cafu. Rivaldo for Brazil. Zé Roberto. Roberto Carlos. We've actually got 3 players called Carlos in the back 4 tonight. There's Zé Roberto, trying to find a way through to Rivaldo.
You mentioned they had 3 players called Carlos. I remember some years ago they had a goalkeeper as well, Zé Carlos, so we know had that even there have been 4, but they're all excellent players, particularly Roberto Carlos. We know him well, but I feel that Antonio Carlos, the Roma centre-back, has come in to this side and he's done exceptionally well in this tournament.
Mexico back in possession with Pardo. Now Palencia. Pardo forced wide. Challenge by Roberto Carlos was excellent. Crisp tackle to win the ball back. Now Marquez.
That was delightfully taken by Marquez. He just took it in behind himself. Brilliant control. The control of all players here, outstanding. Maybe overdoing it a bit at the moment though.
Another fine tackle which has quickly sent Brazil onto the offensive here, but for once Ronaldo's renowned control of the ball wasn't up to scratch. Terrazas, who actually scored in that opening group match against Brazil. It was a rather easy goal, a tap in after some very poor defending by Brazil from a corner. There goes Blanco again. Well, we've got Blanco for Mexico and Rivaldo for Brazil, 2 players who have very much rediscovered the apparently lost art of dribbling and taking on defenders.
They love to run with the ball, both number 10 players, excellent control, drive forward, always positive, Blanco and Rivaldo. And that's twice he's been fouled in the front third of the pitch, which is not a good idea when you've got the expertise around to finish.
Twice by the same player as well, Emerson, who may have been deputed to mark him.
Yes, Emerson's the man in front of the back 2, the central defenders picking up the runner from midfield.
Disappointing effort from the free kick and the rebound that came back to him from Rafael Marquez. Brazil bidding for their 3rd successive final in the competition, remember, and their 5th overall win in the history of the Copa America, way behind the team that's already clinched a place in the final, Uruguay. They hold the record jointly with Argentina on 14 wins in this young and experimental Uruguayan side, providing the biggest shock of the competition so far, finding their way all the way through to the final. Here's Emerson. Cafu. Immediate ball for Amoroso on the far post. Campos caught it well.
No problem for the colourful goalkeeper there, that was an easy one. Notice excellent tactical play, I think, from Mexico. He's up here cleverly, times the cross, picks it out, and Ronaldo has no chance, nor has Amoroso.
Amoroso has proved a very useful partner to Ronaldo in the competition so far. He's weighed in with 3 goals. Ronaldo top scorer for the whole Copa America on 4. There are a lot of players on 3. 10 minutes gone here, and still no goals. They're playing for a place in the final, and there has to be an outcome tonight, of course. If they're still level after 90 minutes, which is what happened in the first semi-final yesterday, then it will go to a penalty shootout, as it did between Uruguay and Chile.
I was saying, Alan, tactically I'm impressed. I'm looking at Mexico. They're trying to stop Cafu going down the right. Blanco is always there, and Terrazas is on the other side to make sure that Roberto Carlos, here he is trying to impede Roberto Carlos when he gets a chance, but Zé Roberto got through that time.
This cross picks out Cafu, drives it back in, and it will go all the way back to the little midfield player who was, however, in an offside position.
So Mexico are taking care of the flanks, and it would look as though Brazil have to consider more central attacking options.
Mexico, a very experienced team. Remember, they performed very well in the World Cup finals last year. They got to the second round before losing to Germany, and rather unluckily they were in the lead there with a quarter of an hour to go, and a couple of late goals from Klinsmann and Bierhoff finally had them eliminated.
Yes, I watched that match, and Bierhoff's final goal was superb, but for a long spell it looked as though Mexico were going to beat Germany.
And you know, Brazil again stringing together passes like this. The trademark of their game. Didn't look like he would get it back perhaps in the middle of this move. Emerson. Rivaldo. Middle of the field. There's the little fella Conceição. Mexico chasing shadows literally at the moment.
Yes, but they're keeping the ball in front of them, so they're chasing the shadows okay, but there's a penetrating pass, the first one for a while.
Amoroso felt he should have had a free kick there for the challenge from behind, which seemed to catch him on the calf, but the referee said play on. Palencia from Mexico, and on this near side Zapata. Back by Emerson. Antonio Carlos. Conceição. Here's the player who came in, João Carlos, and scored a own goal against Argentina in the quarter-final. Back in possession now. He replaced Oddone, who played in all the previous games, at centre-back.
Oddone had been doing well, I thought, but he's been replaced, and João Carlos quite often plays at full-back, but he's been placed in the right centre-back position.
Check on the Brazilian substitutes. Ronaldinho, one who's come on frequently throughout this competition already, scored a wonderful goal, of course, early on. And you might expect to see him later if things aren't going according to plan for Brazil. So they are now on the attack again. Who continues his run forward. But it goes in instead to Zé Roberto, who lines up the left-footed shot. Campos there again.
Excellent shot by Zé Roberto, just a little too straight, but good goalkeeping. He narrowed the angle and made an excellent save.
Amoroso with a great run and pulled it back into a dangerous position there. Rivaldo's shot was blocked and they've got another corner. Coming up to a quarter of an hour gone, and Brazil getting into their rhythm. Still 0-0. Roberto Carlos. Rivaldo, it opened up brilliantly for him, and for the third time in the opening quarter of an hour, Campos has made a decent save.
Great turning shot there by Rivaldo. Wonderful play by Roberto Carlos. Went down the blind side there as a distraction. He was the decoy, and a wonderful shot, but nicely tipped over.
Well, we never know quite what to expect from the Mexican goalkeeper, but he seems to be on his game all right tonight. Very relieved, mind you, to see that one fly wide.
Good variation in the corner kicks. A long one to start with, then two short, and then that one into the front post. So they've had 4 corners that I can think of, and excellent variation. The short ones worked quite well.
Very experienced keeper, of course, Campos, over 100 international appearances, and played all 4 matches in the World Cup last year and in the USA in '94. When he concentrates on his game, he is a good keeper. Now that was a sloppy header that could easily have found Ronaldo. He seems to have found him offside. Even though it was headed back, I can't quite understand the linesman's thinking on that one. And Luxemburgo a little bit frustrated on the touchline.
Very frustrated. He's the most excited I've seen him in this tournament. He's the 5th coach this decade, since 1990.
Here goes Blanco again for Mexico. Good defending from Emerson. Emerson to force him wide. Hernandez, haven't seen him on the ball yet. The challenge by Cafu, earns a free kick for Mexico.
Yeah, clumsy challenge, he did well. He came in against Cafu's left foot, which is his unfavoured side, and there's a good ploy in Cafu to bring him down, resulting in free kick, another free kick in a dangerous area.
It's a feature of Brazil's quarter-final against Argentina, the number of free kicks they conceded around the box. And Mexican coach La Fuente whistles his orders, but it doesn't matter.
I think his orders will be to change the kicker, because that's 3 free kicks have been wasted from good position.
And how quickly Brazil get on with it. Ronaldo dropped that one in a bit short. Mexico grateful. Valencia for that. Needed to chip ball forward to Zepeda, and Zepeda hits it early for Hernandez. He's got Blanco up in support. And he's won his team a corner. Good play.
Good play indeed. I think he tried for the corner there. He thought that's the best option. He wasn't going to get past, so he cleverly played it off the defender, João Carlos, to get the corner kick.
3 goals in the tournament so far. Hernandez, he was leading scorer a couple of years ago in Bolivia with 6. Suarez and Terrazas coming forward. And the goalkeeper was at full stretch there, and it's as well he made contact because Palencia was behind it.
Yes, it's as well as tall as he is, because he was stretching for that one, and he did well to get it over. Another corner kick.
Big imposing goalkeeper Dida, who's replaced Taparel for this tournament. And this time the flight of the corner not quite so convincing. Goal kick.
I was saying, Alan, Luxemburgo is the 5th coach they've had since 1990. Lazzaroni they had, Falcao, Carlos Alberto Pereira and Zagallo. So he's the 5th one, and he looks to have got a good start in the tournament here. His first big tournament with Brazil.
Zepeda in possession for Mexico, and Hernandez cleverly dropped his shoulder to try and lose Antonio Carlos, who deflects it behind for a corner.
Hernandez very sprightly in the last minute or two. He won a corner on the other side on the left. Now excellent play to get a corner on the right side.
Roberto Carlos guarding that near post area. Someone will be deputed, that's for sure, to keep an eye on Valencia, and in particular Hernandez, who's a very good player in the air. Hernandez. Valencia coming out of the box now to make his run.
Disappointing corner into the front there. I'm most surprised at the lack of invention in the free kicks and the corner kicks from Mexico so far. They've had the opportunities, but I'm afraid they've made it easy for the defending side, and Brazil just mop up that kind of poor delivery to the front post.
Mexico stay in the Brazilian half, almost 20 minutes gone, and they've made a decent start here. Mexico, who are here, remember, as guests, since they're not officially in the South American Confederation. Zé Roberto showing great skill on the ball for the reigning Copa America champions, who beat Uruguay on penalties in the '95 final. I wonder if we could see a repeat of that particular match, and then beat the host Bolivia 2 years ago in 90 minutes by 3 goals to 1. Emerson. He comes forward rather guardedly, knowing that his main duties are defensive. You can't say that of Cafu.
No, but I notice it's excellent because his the runs forward from Cafu are being matched by Blanco. Blanco very diligent in his defensive duties as well as creative going forward.
Rivaldo opening it up there with a lovely ball for the central defender Antonio Carlos. What a run by him. Can he deliver the cross? He can. And here's Ronaldo! Well, it looked as though the first goal could be on the way then from the leading scorer, Ronaldo.
Great play by Brazil, typically excellent play. A smashing cross from the left, headed down by Amoroso onto Ronaldo, who just squirreled his shot past Campos, right hand post, but first class play. The cross was excellent from Antonio Carlos, knocked down and a good shot, but still they lose the first goal. Must be an important one, because I think the team to get the first goal will undoubtedly go on to win this match, because I can sense the goals will be hard to come by.
Shot there by Roberto Carlos, miles off target. Incidentally, he and, more significantly, Ronaldo come into this match carrying a caution from previous games, and therefore, if the organisers are consistent with their disciplinary procedure so far in the competition, should either receive another yellow card tonight, they would be forced to miss the final if Brazil get there. I don't think any of us would want to see that, except perhaps Uruguay, I should say. Paraguay, the holders, having disappointingly gone out, of course, and that's affected the attendances at these matches. Mistake there by Cafu, corner to Mexico. Midway through the first half, it's still 0-0.
Now we're looking for something better from Blanco's corner this time.
That's going to the same sort of position from which he scored in the group game. There was a spot of pushing spotted there by the referee. The free kick was taken several yards from where it should have been. I'm surprised the referee allowed Brazil to get away with that. Mexico wouldn't have been too pleased if something had resulted there. They're back in possession with Zapata. Very calm Suarez, the centre-back, one of the most experienced players, very solid central defender. And here's the talented Blanco. Oh, great effort from Blanco. Dida did well to react so quickly.
A wonderful effort, excellent change of pace as he drove forward there, and a magnificent strike with his right foot. Good save from Dida, but this is the danger man tonight. Oh, good shot by Blanco.
Well, I said before the game that Hernandez and Blanco are arguably as good as any combination of strikers in the competition, and so far they have started in fine form, the two of them. Here's the other, Hernandez. Emerson with a good old-fashioned shoulder charge. Amoroso.
Yes, you're right about these two strikers, Hernandez and Blanco, but they're well supported by Valencia, who's playing just off the front as well, and it's a very interesting formation. I notice it changes when they lose possession, and Blanco goes wide to cut off.
Here's Roberto with the cross, and it almost fell at the feet of Rivaldo. They just about scraped through that for the moment, Mexico. Now Emerson. It's a great ball. Roberto. Another dangerous cross, and it's hit the post and turned in. Gives Brazil the lead. 25 minutes gone. The champions have taken one significant step towards the final.
That was a real striker's goal. Whenever the ball came off the post at speed, Amoroso reacted brilliantly, and he fired it right into the empty net because goalkeeper Campos was stranded. Great ball across there. Wonderful header in. Goalkeeper stranded, and a finish par excellence by a striker. Predator looking there on the edge of the 6 yards box. Wonderful finish. The header was unlucky not to score in the first instance, but that's good striking.
And it's his fourth goal of the tournament, so he is now joint leading scorer, Amoroso, with his own teammate Ronaldo. And only a little paint, so to speak, prevented Rivaldo from getting his third goal of the tournament. It was his header which smacked against the post. And Mexico, having made a good start here, well, I'm not sure it would be right to say they can consider themselves unlucky to be a goal behind, because really against Brazil, a goal can always be just around the corner.
Yeah, things were quite quiet there for a spell, and Mexico were settling in nicely, but that was a flash of brilliance from Roberto down the left, whose magnificent cross was headed goals by Rivaldo, and an excellent finish by the lurking striker. Next, a typical Brazil goal. You can never count them out. And just as things were a bit flat, they burst into action.
So the reigning Copa America champions have their noses in front here. But they won't be foolish enough to write off Mexico. Hernandez for them. Mexicans made a terrible start, remember, in the quarterfinal against Peru. They were 2 down inside a quarter of an hour there and really looked out of it, and their whole body language and attitude in that opening half was all wrong, but they came back brilliantly, forced a 3-all draw, got through on penalty kicks, and clearly had the talent to get back into this game.
Yeah, psychologically everything is right for Brazil. When you get the opening goal, you certainly force the opposition to come out, and they were sitting in nicely, playing behind the ball. To get something, they'll have to consider a more positive approach coming forward, which of course leaves the back door open for Brazil, and you can't afford to do that to them.
Very little touch there by Amoroso, didn't quite come off as he tried to play it through to Ronaldo. Gives Mexico a free kick. And so now the guilty man.
There's the magnificent cross. Great header. I think that would have been a fine goal on its own, but wonderful striking.
Zé Roberto, very much the man who made it. He used to play for Real Madrid. He's now in the German league with Bayer Leverkusen. He paid £4 million to sign him.
Yes, and he's got his teammate Emerson there in the midfield beside him, and Emerson supplying the muscle, supplying the defensive responsibilities there, allowing Zé Roberto to get into the position he got to for the delivery for the goal. Good combination in midfield for Brazil.
Roberto Carlos gets it away. Actually, Zé Roberto in the World Cup summer was an understudy to Roberto Carlos, and he only got on for 3 minutes as a substitute in the quarter-final against Denmark, but he's in the team in a more advanced position on merit in this Copa America. And it's his cross that led to the opening goal. Here's Hernandez for Mexico. We know what it's like to be behind. We've seen that in the World Cup and in this tournament. A strange team, one you can never dare to write off, even when things do seem to be going against them. As Hernandez turns it forward. Brazil have this wonderful ability to seemingly be playing within themselves and then just explode forward into dangerous positions.
That's right, the change of pace is tremendous. They can just, as they're doing at the moment, everything's calm. Lost possession there, but they're fighting back for a bit. Everything's calm, and then all of a sudden we have an electric burst, and that's exactly what happened from Zé Roberto. We've got 3 left-sided players down here. There's one of them, Rivaldo. We've got Roberto Carlos and Zé Roberto. So natural on that side of the field.
Ronaldo trying to battle his way through single-handed now. He'll want another goal so he can nudge ahead of his teammate in the overall scoring stakes. Conceição. Here's Rivaldo. Options wherever he looks. He picks out Ronaldo. It's a lovely ball from him to Amoroso, the goal scorer. And as he played it through to his captain, Cafu was offside. And Blanco again for Mexico.
Blanco cheating on him. Cafu's gone, Blanco's in behind, and he's had to be delayed there, well delayed by João Carlos.
Now Hernandez. Into a little deflection. It was a decent effort by Hernandez.
You're right, Alan. Hernandez, that was a good effort. They do know how to fight back. They've got a good reputation in that regard.
And their set pieces. Disappointing so far, Mexico. Let's see if they can improve with this one. Half an hour gone. Ciudad del Este, they're a goal behind in the Copa America semi-final. And they did improve on it, but the flick on the near post wasn't really anticipated. And Brazil have possession again. Antonio Carlos believing he should get a free kick there, but he's not going to, I don't think. No. Mexican ball.
I think that was okay. Marquez seemed to go in very firmly, but quite fairly. And we're looking at that last corner, it was a good flick on, but they had 4 players, Mexico, at the front post and no one for the flick on, which was disappointing. Good crossover throw in and see.
Hernandez, recent little ball into the area, gets it back again. The keeper was expecting to go and pick that up comfortably, but the defender had other ideas. So Mexico stay on the attack here. Hernandez doing well to get it back to Terrazas, who's gifted it again to Brazil. Now they've given it away. Oddone getting forward. And on this near side, Terrazas. Good skill to lose momentarily anyway, Roberto Carlos. He's quickly on his feet again. Pardo's cross. Cafu heads it away. This is where Brazil have the ability to break so dangerously. Rivaldo. Ronaldo hesitated. His team still had possession. Roberto Carlos. Zé Roberto. Now Ronaldo. It's not often you see a Brazilian player do anything quite as clumsy as that. Conceição, the guilty man. The goal incidentally scored by Amoroso was the 67th in the tournament so far. So this Copa America has now produced as many goals as the whole of the tournament 2 years ago in Bolivia. And of course there's still the rest of this game, plus the third place playoff on Saturday and Sunday's final left.
Yes, and I think the way both teams here are playing, there are more goals in the match, but psychologically Brazil have the advantage. Mexico have to make sure that they don't lose another one before half-time, which would give them an uphill task. I think an insurmountable one. But if they can get to half-time, get themselves regrouped, get a rest for one or two, and the legs are beginning to go, particularly Blanco, who's got the big responsibility of marking Cafu and trying to create as well. You see him there, he's not getting to Cafu any longer, and Cafu's gone, and his man to mark him there, Blanco, is not catching him. So there's a big change, and it's a physical one because Blanco has done so much going forward.
On goal scorer Amoroso. 11 minutes to half-time. Brazil lead Mexico by 1-0 in the second semi-final of this year's Copa America. Uruguay already through to Sunday's showpiece. And the reigning champions Brazil on their way to facing them. Incidentally, both these countries will be taking part shortly in another international competition, the Confederations Cup. It's actually been staged in Mexico for the first time ever, and Brazil will be there, and they've already decided they're going to rest several of their European-based players for that, the likes of Ronaldo, Amoroso, Cafu, Roberto Carlos and Rivaldo will all be given a break ahead of domestic club season in Europe.
Just as you say that, Alan, I'm counting, and 9 of the Brazilian side play in Europe, which is quite amazing, and not one of the Mexican team playing across the Atlantic.
Zé Roberto, a constant threat down this left-hand side. Emerson driving one through, and it's just about kept in play, and Ronaldo's shot was deflected away. I think it was Cafu who made up ground to keep that ball in. Now Hernandez breaks, and there's danger here for Brazil. That was a great tackle, I thought, by Antonio Carlos. For me, he won the ball there, but the referees decided to challenge from behind. Free kick.
Yes, I think nowadays, even though you win the ball, if you leave your trailing leg high and it impedes the player, the referee gives a free kick. And I think he might just have left the leg a bit high after winning the ball. You're right, he seemed to win it first.
Free, very insistent.
But Cafu did get to the byline a minute or two ago. That was excellent. He's got the legs. He's still fit and athletic down that side. Well,
that could have found a way through. Brazil looking not too confident the way they defended that. Zapata in possession. And again, the referee's gone against the defender for the challenge. Roberto Carlos this time.
And he better look out, he's already on a yellow card in the tournament. That is a risky one, and they're already cautioned. He seemed again to get the ball, and that was a softish one.
It's going to be a dying arm tackling, the way FIFA are clamping down and referees are following. Oh, what a wasted free kick that was.
Yeah, the two-man wall did well, but they hadn't much work to do because the delivery from Parker was very disappointing.
Well, somehow or other, when you see Brazil, you almost always get the impression that if they were to fall behind in the game, they could pick it up, find an extra gear and find another goal from somewhere. And at the moment, they don't look at anything like full tilt in this game, yet they look comfortable and they have the lead.
They're pacing the game as usual brilliantly. It's a calm, studied play and then a burst into action and then back to possession again. The change of pace and the variety is unbelievable.
Valencia did really well there. And for the third successive time, the referee has judged against the Brazilian defensive tackle. Now Blanco for Mexico. You always get a hint something could happen when he's on the ball. And indeed, he's won his team a corner. Clearance by Roberto Carlos.
He knew what he was doing there. He could take no risks at all because he saw the lurking Mexican player there and he quickly headed it back for a corner kick.
Conceded a fair number of corners and free kicks. Can Mexico get a goal from one? They almost did then. I think some of the crowd there thought that the header by Marquez had actually found the net. It hit the side netting, in fact.
Must be alarming for Brazil, the number of near post corners being met by the heads of Mexican players, but the flick on wasn't successful the last time. The near post header wasn't successful this occasion, but they better look out because that's a ploy. It's a good corner kick into the front from Blanco.
Suarez quickly closed down by Amoroso. Mexico release it early. Palencia and Hernandez this time, and eventually the referee has seen in Brazil's favour, foul on Anderson.
You were mentioning Alan, the next tournament stays in Mexico. I think the Mexican side plays more international matches than any other country in the world. They average about 20 internationals a year. And they play almost like a club side, and they, of course, almost all, in fact, all of the players come from the Mexican league, so it's easy to get. In contrast, we have the Brazilians, 9 of the team out there playing in Europe, only 2. Zé Roberto playing in Flamenco. He's one of them, and João Carlos and Cruzeiro playing in Brazil.
Suarez gets it forward. Shot from distance by Zapata, no problem at all to Dida in the Brazilian goal. Zapata, a newcomer to the international setup this year. For once working back in his own half, but it didn't matter because Brazil still had possession. Zé Roberto, good ball forward to Rivaldo. Danger here, didn't catch it properly. Defender might just have blocked it as he shot.
He didn't get time because he was closed down very quickly and couldn't get any power in the shot, making it easy for Campos and goal.
Moreno comes forward. Mexico a goal behind. 5 minutes and a half remaining.
This new Brazilian side growing up together, I think no one over 30 in the time. Antonio Carlos, the old man from Roma, age 30. The rest are very young side, most impressive, and I think, as always, Brazil will be a good team for years to come.
Carmona getting forward again for Mexico here. Palencia. Blanco. This is good play by the Mexicans. Don't they find that killer ball at the end? That looked like handball by Hernandez, and that's how the referee saw it.
Yeah, the ball was eluding him, so up went the hand just to try to get a bit of advantage there, but very obvious. Great control, I may say, by the arm, but totally illegal.
Brazil anxious to maintain their lead through to half-time. Ronaldo, Emerson, now Rivaldo, Conceição, width as ever provided on the right by Cafu. Conceição dives into the space. Also beautifully balanced. Rivaldo. It's a clever little ball in, and Rivaldo's shot finds the net. And Brazil extend their lead to 2-0, 3 minutes before half-time. Brilliant set-up play. I think they would have had a free kick anyway. The referee wisely allowed them to play on, and how Rivaldo relished the gift that the referee gave him.
Superb play indeed, Alan. That was a magnificent ball forward from Ronaldo. The referee was excellent. He allowed the advantage rule. It looked to me as if there was a free kick and it should have been awarded, but he allowed them to play on. And when the ball came back loose, in went Ronaldo with that magnificent left foot and struck it into the back of the net. That's a free kick, but excellent referee. He waited, delayed the whistle, and Brazil got what they deserved. An excellent goal. Wonderful football.
And Rivaldo gets his third goal of the tournament, so they've now got 2 players on 4 goals and another on 3. Not for nothing did the bookmakers make the reigning champions favourites to retain their title here. Well, I repeat that Mexico found themselves 2 down in the quarter-final, but 2 down against Brazil is a different matter altogether.
Yeah, they were 2 down in the previous game, but they got 1 back. I think mainly because we had the ordering off of Rivaldo. I would be very surprised if they can get back into this match.
Brazil look as though they're enjoying themselves now, and that's a rather frightening thought if you're up against them.
Yeah, and quite significantly, Rivaldo has been able to push further forward behind the front 2 since Roberto came into his normal position, this left front position, which often you find Rivaldo in, but Roberto is adopting that role, allowing Rivaldo to play in a more central area. It was from that area, of course, that he managed to score the goal.
So Roberto found offside this time. Mexico going to try and impose themselves now and believe that they can still get back into this game against the nation that many would regard, outside of France anyway, as the world's greatest football team, despite what happened in Paris last summer. Blanco. Terrazas.
I thought you might have said there, Alan, they were fortunate to get through the first game in Paris last summer.
Who were they playing again? As Palencia shoots.
Good shot by Palencia. He's a fine player. The front 3 are excellent there, but a little deficient in midfield. Missing the more experienced Lara and Chavez. They don't have control in midfield, Mexico. But when they get it forward, there's certainly a danger there. The front 3 are capable, and they could get something back.
Certainly Scotland, of course, did give Brazil a very fine game in Paris last summer, but you couldn't accuse Brazil of struggling in the opening game in this Copa America. They swept Venezuela aside by 7 goals to 0. They went on to beat Mexico and Chile, and then of course Argentina in the quarterfinals. Offside there, Terrazas. And so far Brazil are undefeated in this competition, and in fact undefeated way back to the 1995 competition.
Well, yards offside there, a bit of inexperience. Terrazas, he saw the ball a long time, he could have delayed as well.
referee delays his half-time whistle no longer, and Brazil go off to thunderous applause from their supporters and go off with a 2-0 half-time lead. The first goal scored by Amoroso when Rivaldo's header had come back to him off the post, and then Rivaldo making quite sure that no one got the credit for the second, which he hit into the net with that fantastic left foot of his. Brazil seemingly at this stage cruising. They lead Mexico at home. Roberto Carlos leads the Brazilians back onto the field then for the second half of this semi-final here in Ciudad del Este. And one of the Brazilians wanted to stay here. It's been a very lucky ground for them, if lucky is the right word to use, about such a talented squad of players. They've won every match they've played here, and this is their 5th on this particular stadium. They will have to move eventually if they get to the final. That will be played on Sunday in Asuncion. Brazilians actually have the temerity to try and get that switched to Ciudad del Este, but their request was not surprisingly thrown out. Campos made an excellent start in the Mexican goal, and we're all ready to go at the start of the second half here. The second half underway then, Brazil leading by 2-0 here against Mexico, scoring their second in that perfect little period just before the half-time break, which will have really affected the morale of a Mexican team that played decently enough in the first half, but how many times have we seen opponents play decently against Brazil only to lose? Ramirez has come on to replace Terrazas for Mexico. A little bit of a surprise that he wasn't in the starting lineup anyway in the early matches, and I've seen every one of Mexico's games so far. He was one of their better players. Straight onto the attack here, which is what they're going to need to do now, and they forced another corner from the clearance by Roberto Carlos.
They needed bolstering in midfield, there's no question, and that's why Ramirez is there, because Terrazas, Torrado and Zepeda have struggled a bit, and Blanco's legs were beginning to go in the last 10 minutes of the half, so that should help them a little.
An early goal for Mexico could change the picture here, and Brazil had a bit of a scramble initially to get that clear, and lovely skill from Rivaldo to calmly play the ball from his own penalty area. Now Emerson's had an excellent game in that position in front of the central defenders. Rivaldo showing his tricks again, but Mexico determined to win that one back. Not for long did they keep possession. Here's Rivaldo again in a free role here. With Roberto operating down the left. He's been obviously given freedom to roam. Antonio Carlos getting forward and winning a throw-in for Brazil, who have appeared in 15 Copa America finals throughout their history. They actually hold the record for the number of losing finals. They've been runners-up no fewer than 10 times. It seems amazing when you consider their fabulous World Cup record. But in previous eras, Brazil haven't treated the Copa America with the seriousness they reserve for the World Cup. A bit different this time, and indeed in recent times.
Yeah, I think that's because new coach, new young team, and they're all got something to prove. But the performances we've seen in this tournament, they've improved okay, and I wouldn't bet against them.
Yes, Uruguay have been very much the surprise nation. We've got to the final despite only winning one game in the normal 90 minutes. But they will certainly fear Brazil if that's the pairing on Sunday in Asuncion, the capital city. Zé Roberto, one of many who've been outstanding for Brazil tonight. His cross led to the first goal. Ronaldo missed the header. Looked like an arm used there by Ramirez. The referee hasn't given it, however. Hernandez. João Carlos quickly in with the tackle. Now Rivaldo again. Cafu didn't get the cross right this time. He's got some chasing to do to get back now. Carmona plays it into the space. Here's Blanco again, holding that position and going down and getting the free kick, challenged by João Carlos.
disappointed at times in Blanco because he's got excellent ability, but he's prone to go down when sometimes you think he can carry on. On that occasion, I think he could easily have contained his footing and be carried through. But down he went, taking the soft option, looking for a free kick every time.
And Valencia wasting the opening. Gives Brazil the opportunity to come forward in that lovely languid style of theirs again. Oh, what a touch there by Ronaldo through to Rivaldo. Amoroso, one side of him, chose to go the other side, and that dramatic dive by Conceição has produced nothing. Goal kick, or is it a corner? In fact, it's deflected off the defender's shin.
That's all it was, I think, a dramatic dive. I think there was no intention to commit a free kick there, and the corner kick, in my opinion, the correct decision.
Just hit Carmona as he was trying to get out of the way of the ball. Amoroso pulls it back, and the shot through the crowd could have had Mexico in further trouble. Not out of danger yet. Dramatic overhead kick there by Zé Roberto, but Mexico now do come clear. Lovely skill by the substitute Ramirez. Should be Roberto Carlos, his ball, and is. Oh dear. I mean, made that look ridiculously easy.
I think, in all honesty, the opponent made it ridiculously easy. Very disappointing defending, allowing him out from the tight position in the corner flag there.
Here again is Rivaldo, the Barcelona player. No wonder so many of the big European clubs are prepared to almost break the bank to sign some of these Brazilian stars. A joy to watch every time they play.
It is a treat. The possession here is just amazing, and the balance, the poise of each player. And in particular, I think Conceição, Zé Roberto, the new ones are looking terrific.
Here's Hernandez, breaking for Mexico. Always look sharp, always look dangerous. And turning that little ball inside them for Ramirez to shoot wide.
A wasted shot. Blanco looking for the ball, played into the box, maybe for a 1-2 or for Blanco to turn on his own, but Ramirez, rather selfishly and with no hope of scoring, I felt, from that distance, tried the shot.
Last time Brazil came into this tournament as holders was 8 years ago. They reached the final then and lost on that occasion to Argentina. Here's Cafu and Rivaldo. Conceição, Zé Roberto, just when you expect them to appear down the left, they appear down the right or in the centre, and Rivaldo showing that his right foot's not quite as good as his left, but not bad.
Not another good flowing movement, and as you said, Rivaldo shot it with his right foot over the top. Not too bad, a dipping one perhaps. Had he delayed the shot a little, let it come down, it might well hit the target. But both teams trying to build from the back. No wild kicks upfield. All credit to them. Mexico keeping possession as well, but they find it almost impossible to get it back when Brazil have possession.
I suppose we drool so much over Brazil's attacking qualities, Craig. You can easily forget sometimes how good they are defensively.
Absolutely, and uncompromising. They don't hesitate to commit a free kick if that's appropriate, and I think they're very ruthless in defence, and that's perhaps hidden by the fact that they're so fluent, so graceful from middle to front. But they can tackle.
And indeed here they seem to have one of their better goalkeepers. Tafarel's been around a long time, of course. He came out of this competition, pulled out of the squad. Luxembourgo's used 4 different keepers in his short time in charge, but he looks the part.
He does. You would imagine that he's playing, I think, for Lugano in the Swiss league. I wouldn't imagine that they're all that long. If he keeps going for Brazil the way he's been doing in this tournament, what a magnificent physique he has.
Apparently he played in the Olympic side back in 1996 in Atlanta and was criticised for errors which led to goals, and it's taken him some time to recover from that and win back his place in the national team. had a good tournament, not that he's been tested that often. Now, Campos is always liable to do something that isn't included in the rule book, and he almost did then. Carmona looking to try and find a way out here, and did well.
Yeah, Carmona's had a good tournament. Anytime I've seen him, he's looked in first-class form. Thrust forward from the left-back position. Good young player, he's 23, and I think very promising indeed.
So that little gestures meant to me. Get together and shake hands, possibly. Pardo and Emerson do that. He's been quite sensible so far. Byron Moreno from Ecuador.
Yeah, it's been an easy game to referee, but he's been efficient looking. The players seem to respect him, and he's not been in trouble. He's not been having players in trouble with yellow cards and no suggestion of a red. Although the foul on Rivaldo for the goal scored, the foul on Ronaldo for the score scored by Rivaldo was a tackle from behind, which in the World Cup would have been a red card. There's another one from behind.
Hernandez on the end of it this time. Mexico just made a change, which I'm sure you saw. Palencia going off to be replaced by Daniel Osorno, who actually scored for them in the 3-1 victory against Venezuela in the group stage and played down the left-hand side in that game. Hernandez, having won the free kick, goes forward himself. 10 minutes of the second half gone. Can Mexico make a game of it here by getting a goal back? Pardo knocks it in, and they almost did, but Dida's positioning was excellent to keep out a rather tame header, it has to be said, from Marquez.
Good delivery. All Marquez needed to do was to get more on it, to get it either side of Dida, but unfortunately for him it was too straight. But a very good header under pressure, and the delivery was excellent as well. So that's a tantalising free kick thrown into the 6-yard box there.
Ramirez has already made a difference in the middle of the field for Mexico. Coach Lafuente might be regretting that he didn't start him. Anyway, no time for regrets when you're concentrating on a 2-goal deficit against Brazil. Second goal scored by this man, Rivaldo. Amoroso got the first. There's his layoff that keeps them coming forward again. Roberto Carlos. Rivaldo. And again, lovely skill, but even he can't get through 4 men. Blanco for Mexico. A frustrating sort of player, but nonetheless clearly has the talent to cause problems, which is presumably why Lafuente's leaving him out there, even though his contribution's been a bit inconsistent. Not what you could say of this man. Emerson's had a really solid game.
Not happy with the short pass there, wanted it played long, and I think he's got every justification for his complaint. But this man has made a difference, Ramirez.
There's a decent ball by him as well. Sono trying to find a way through, but it's not easy. And this is where Brazil break quickly, and there's a lovely ball. This could be the next goal for Ronaldo. Well, all credit to Campos. He's had his critics, and I've been amongst them in this tournament, but he did exactly the right thing there, Craig.
Good goalkeeping, yes, he was out quickly. He played like a sweeper, and he managed to put Ronaldo off and saved what I thought was going to be a third goal for Brazil. Ronaldo did everything correctly there, I felt, but the goalkeeping was exceptional. He was playing like an outfield player, using his feet to tackle, and I don't think Ronaldo would have expected that.
Well, Ronaldo has been quoted as saying he's very keen to finish top scorer in the competition, having missed out to Mexico's Hernandez 2 years ago just by 1 goal. So he'll be anxious to get on the score sheet if he can, because at the moment he's only a level top scorer with his own teammate Amoroso, who each hit 4 in the Copa so far. Mexico's free kick. Ramirez will take it. Good one too. Dida came for it, didn't quite reach it, and then in steps Amoroso to win it back.
Look at this, Alan. That's the striker who's back at the edge of the box defending. That's magnificent teamwork.
And what a ball as well to Ronaldo, I mean, half the length of the pitch.
Yeah, that's the secret of the Brazilians. Everyone works for each other, and that was a terrific bit of defending from the striker Amoroso.
They conceded a free kick in a dangerous position here, Brazil. On Zepeda. And there's Amoroso again.
Yes, I think he should get upfield and think about getting another goal because he's conceding that free kick. But I would be happy if I were the coach that when required he's back and he's contributing to the overall team efficiency.
Well, the two strikers, Amoroso and Ronaldo, in the wall for the free kick here. And they were needed and did their job. It wasn't the best effort, in all honesty.
No, Ramirez has a nice left foot, but that was a weak one straight into the wall.
He's a guy with a great little foot and great balance, Roberto. Referee's looking to bring the old yellow card out tonight. Previous referees would have shown 3 or 4 already.
Yeah, I don't think that was a malicious one. Maybe not deserving a card. He was trying, I think, to get the ball, but from a very awkward position, trying to get through behind him.
Roberto has certainly guaranteed himself a place in the final if Brazil get there with his performance in the last couple of games. An hour of the match gone here in the semi-final. Brazil lead 2-0, but we all know who will fancy trying to extend that lead to 3-0 from this free kick. Well, actually, you can take your choice, but Roberto Carlos might fancy a piece of the action, particularly here.
Yeah, he's been more successful with Real Madrid, his club, than he has been with the national team with the free kicks, but he can thunder a ball, and even from that distance, it's always a danger.
You wouldn't want to be in the defensive wall at this moment. Got a way through, but lost all its pace by the time it reached Campos.
Yeah, too much friction with the grass there, slowing it down, and therefore it was an easy save for Campos.
Who will ever forget Roberto Carlos's free kick goal in the Tournoi a couple of years ago? Fantastic, unbelievable, swerving effort.
Yeah, that was a very good one.
You'll never be accused of exaggeration, Greg. Can Mexico find a way back here? Hernandez, who has toiled away well, wins another corner.
Yeah, maximum effort always from Hernandez. Excellent in the World Cup, the heat in France there. He just carried on and he was moving at the last minute the way he was in the first minute.
Corner clearing everyone. He's back in. Well, disappointingly by Blanco. Needed a bit more height on that. Brazil come forward again with pace and power. Good ball from Ronaldo to Cafu, the captain. Cesar dispossessed by Sorno. He then found the Mexican player. Mexico, of course, guaranteed a place in the third place playoff match, which takes place in Asuncion on Saturday. Whatever happens, Chile are already there.
He's down again. He's been down almost every time he gains possession. He ends up looking for that free kick. I think he had a justifiable case there, but he's always looking for the foul, and I would rather get up and try to get on with the game.
Looking for a card as well, so he was disappointed on that count. Asorno then also brought down. There's Hernandez. And this is where they can punish Mexico again on the break, but Amoroso rather just losing control this time. It's almost typical of Brazil this. They get into what looks a comfortable lead and start conceding territory and possession to the opposition, giving them a little bit of encouragement as Ramirez shoots just wide.
Yeah, you're right, they seem to get a bit complacent and they just back off for a spell, but don't discount another goal for them. And Ramirez there showing his ability with his right foot on that occasion. Good shot, but not in any way troubling either.
They almost seem to play in spells, don't they, really? It's almost like watching a great distance runner who might conserve himself for a couple of laps and then really put the effort in. I mean, Brazil seem to play their football like that.
They do, that's been their hallmark over the years. Magnificent control of the match. They dictate what happens in a match. They're never allowing the opposition to dominate and to determine what they do.
Cafu, the captain, takes Brazil forward again. They lead 2-0. Rivaldo in possession. That's a good ball to stretch Mexico's defence again. Look how many yellow shirts there are waiting for the cross. But it was just pulled back too close to the defender, and Mexico have survived for the moment. Then a handball by Roberto Carlos. Mexico get on with it very quickly. Blanco in possession for them. And look how quickly Roberto Carlos recovered.
And Blanco's almost down again.
Off they go again. Copa champions. Our fans love to see this sort of interpassing, but it didn't last long this time. Nicked back again by Amoroso. And he wins a free kick for his side. New name, of course, to most of us. This time round, Amoroso, he was top scorer though in the Italian league last season with 22 goals for Udinese, and he's on his way apparently to Parma.
Well, Udinese have a habit of producing top scoring players. They had Bierhoff and now they have Amoroso, and if you're top scorer in Serie A, you're a player.
Rivaldo, Roberto Carlos, there Roberto. Rivaldo lost his man beautifully then, showed his strength, not just a silky touch, he's got great power as well. Certainly worked hard today. That criticism of him obviously has had some effect. He's really been the complete player tonight, Rivaldo.
Yeah, he's in an easier role infield. He hasn't to do the full side. Roberto's doing that for him, so it's making it easier for him, and his skills, I think, are better employed there. They're employed feeding 1-2s from Ronaldo and Amoroso, as we saw with the excellent goal he scored from the ball back from Ronaldo.
Hernandez keeps it in play. Brazil playing a little five-side football in their own penalty box. Now Antonio Carlos comes forward. Well, the only question really this Copa America has posed is there a team good enough to stop Brazil? So far the answer has been a resounding no.
No team has been in their class in this tournament. Amazing that they've won it so seldom. And it clearly indicates they haven't in the past treated it with the great determination that they do in the World Cup.
Almost 3/4 of the way through then, and Brazil seem to be, well, I'm going to say home and dry in football, but it's very, very difficult to see anything other than a Brazilian victory at the moment. The question really remains, will they score again? Roberto Carlos, Rivaldo. It's keep ball time again.
This is almost embarrassing for the opposition. The control of the match is superb. And the attack comes from all different directions, not always from one side. They've got great capability in the right, same in the left and through the middle. You just never know where the attack's going to emanate from.
Pardo brings Mexico forward and finds Hernandez. It's a decent little header in that could have caused a problem there. And Antonio Carlos clashing inside the 6-yard box, but the referee's happy to let play go on. Amoroso's given it away. Now Ramirez. Hernandez. almost as though they're saying to Mexico, go on, you can have possession, we'll let you play there, but what can you do when you get near our box?
So far they've offered no real threat near the box at all, and Hernandez is having to play in wider areas, which obviously is not his strength, and Blanco's getting deeper and deeper, running out of steam. Lence's off, Osorno's on, we haven't seen anything from Osorno, so you know, it's really very pessimistic, I think, from the Mexican point of view.
Here's Roberto, the return ball for Ronaldo. Can he reach it? He certainly can. He's been, by his high standards, almost subdued tonight, Ronaldo. Others have shone instead. And that's the thing about Brazil. You keep one of the superstars quiet, there's just about another 9 to worry about.
Yeah, Ronaldo is the superstar. I think 50 caps tonight, and for such a young man, 22 only, to have 50 international caps for arguably the best team in the world, the world champions, Brazil, is quite amazing.
So he's actually got more caps for Brazil now than even the great Pelé, who started young, World Cup final at the age of 17, World Cup finals at the age of 17, even more caps than Pelé had got at the equivalent stage of his career.
Yeah, and I'm sure more goals too at this stage. I think 33 goals or something like that, and 50 internationals is an amazing scoring record at the top level of football.
No one knows how many years he's got left on the international scene, injury permitting. Some thought for anyone who's going to have to play the famous yellow jerseys in the coming years. 20 minutes to go here in Ciudad del Este. And the match sauntering along to that challenge, which we felt from here. The referee still has not reached for a card.
No, I'll leave it official, but I don't think a card is needed because there isn't going to be any trouble. I'm sure both teams respect the referee, respect the laws of the game, but there are some hefty ones going on. Many officials will be given a yellow card at least for that.
Emerson looks like a guy who can take care of himself.
Yeah, and so does Suarez. I think.
再回到现场。
He timed it to perfection, got the cross in, but it was just over the top. A driven ball would have been a better one on that occasion, but what a run from the back, helping out Ronaldo. There he is on the way back, and he'll come again, and he'll come again, and he'll come continually throughout the match, and what an engine he has.
Marquez plays it forward, now an opening here, but the shot, rather disappointing end to the first little glimmer that Mexico had.
We haven't seen much of Estadio there, but he had no threat in that shot from outside the box. I felt as he'd been a bit quiet. Torrado's been quiet, and Taratas was replaced by Ramirez, but it's in midfield that they've not got a grip of the game.
Got themselves another corner though. You genuinely get the impression with Brazil that if Mexico were to score and make it difficult for them, they'll just flip up a gear and be back on the attack.
You've got to admit though, they like to have a clean sheet. They're very proud when they have a clean sheet. And here we are, some other youngsters ready to come on.
There's Mexico's corner, again led to a problem. Sportingly knocked out of play there by Rivaldo to allow treatment. Blanco has gone down again.
Referee's not impressed. Blanco's been down so often that maybe one time when he's genuinely hurt, no one will believe him.
Ronaldo. Roberto Carlos, brilliant. Sporting handshake.
Good attitude as always from Roberto Carlos. Oh, magnificent 1-2. And a great through ball.
wonderful to watch. Amoroso. Oh, well, they were flying in from all angles then. In the end, it was Zé Roberto who got the shot in.
Although the strikers score, normally Amoroso and Ronaldo for Brazil, they get goals from every department. There was an example, Zé Roberto coming forward. We know, of course, that Conceição can score on occasion. Rivaldo has done it. So they can score from every department.
There's Hernandez, whose attitude has been top rate in this tournament. Hasn't always had the support he's deserved, but he's never given up, never shrugged the shoulders. Now it looks as though we're going to get the changes. It's almost as though the Brazilians suddenly started playing again because they saw the two substitutes ready to come on, and nobody wants to leave the field. They all enjoyed playing so much, but it's Ronaldo who's going to be put in cotton wool for a couple of days ahead of the final to be replaced by his junior, if you like, Ronaldinho, the 19-year-old who got that great goal against Venezuela, his first at international level on only his second international appearance. The youngest player in Brazil's squad has replaced Ronaldo, who's going to have to wait a little bit longer now to nudge ahead on the goal scorers list.
Yeah, and Ronaldo was the youngest player on the side and has now been replaced by a younger one. 21, number 21 there, Ronaldinho coming on. What a goal you said he scored against Venezuela. That was a treat. If we get something like that tonight, it'll be a real bonus for us.
Emerson has been mighty impressive. Rivaldo, hardly less so.
This Bayern Leverkusen midfield must be magnificent with Emerson and Zé Roberto in there. They must be a joy to watch in the German Bundesliga.
Yeah, it's a pity we can't have one or more of these Brazilians in the British game. Of course, everyone remembers Juninho's fabulous contribution when he was playing in the Premiership. Luxemburgo didn't even have to think about including him in the squad. Of course, he's had some terrible injury problems in recent years, Juninho. Into the final quarter of an hour of the game then, and Brazil, well, relaxed about the scoreline. Ramirez, Hernandez, Ramirez again. It was all too easy for Roberto Carlos.
Yeah, he doesn't often kick it long, but there's a variation, a long one down, which has eventually, from the clearance, the second ball has got to Rivaldo.
A little explosion of pace again, and Brazil a free kick. I'm not sure if they've actually had a game without a single yellow card yet. Looks like there's a distinct possibility here. And congratulations to referee Moreno. He achieves that unusual feat. Another change coming up for Brazil here. Conceição going off, and he'll be replaced by Beto, who did not have the happiest of introductions when he came on the other night against Argentina, wasn't it? When he actually gave away a penalty kick and also made a few other mistakes, not quite so serious as that.
I think he's been forgiven. I agree, he didn't have an impressive performance when he came on, but he's young, and I'm sure that Mr. Luxemburgo is going to give him the experience in this last 15 minutes. Vital experience. They all grew up very quickly in the Brazilian international side.
As though Mexico are going through the motions without really believing that they can claw their way back into this game now. One goal though might make it a nervy final 10 minutes or so for Brazil. Oh, the referee's even taking part in this attack. Little 1-2 there with Antonio Carlos. He still kept it in play there, Amoroso. There's Campos again. Getting Ronaldinho this time and thinking about a little run forward, thought better of it.
Yeah, Ronaldinho wants it on the ground. He's not going to be competing in the air for crosses like that. We saw the great capability he has when he gets that ball on the deck. And I'm looking forward to seeing him get some possession.
Emerson back again, making a vital challenge, and again on the edge of his own penalty box. Those Brazilians who've retired since the World Cup finals last year have apparently been very adequately replaced, if the evidence of this Copa America is anything to go by. And again, you can't hardly wait to see Brazil matching themselves against the best of the world rather than their own continent. And another change for the Brazilians here, using every opportunity now to rest players who will presumably be first choices for the final on Sunday, assuming, which I think we can now, that they'll get there. Alex comes on, and of course he scored that fabulous goal which proved to be the winner against Mexico in the first phase. He has replaced Amoroso. Ten minutes to go. Mexico's free kick. Hernandez can't reach it. Roberto evident again, but given away in the middle of the field by Ronaldinho. Take Brazil on to win it back. Stroke it around with accuracy again. Absolute confidence in each other's ability. Brilliantly done there by Alex, and Blanco's made a tackle. That's a rare event. Going down from tackle on him is not.
Well, two new strikers for Brazil. I'm anxious to see Alec and Ronaldinho in forward positions. They've been defending at the moment, and if they can get the ball forward to them early, it will be interesting to see their contribution, because both are magnificent young players. Now, this man has never been conned. They've tried a bit of diving, they've tried a bit of play acting, but he just gets on with the game. Good use of the advantage rule, particularly at the second goal for Brazil.
I'm not sure they've actually chosen the referee for the final yet, but I would think Senor Moreno ought to be in with a shout from his very sensible performance in this game.
Yeah, I can't imagine them doing the semi-final and the final, but you never know. They have a big complement of officials for the tournament, and I would imagine this will be his first final match.
Roberto Carlos goes forward, and it's a great tackle by the captain Suarez to stop him. Now Blanco for Mexico. Hernandez couldn't return the favour, and Brazil very casually win the ball back. Well, in truth, the moment the first goal went in, let alone the second, the result was never really in doubt, and Brazil have eased their way through this second half and still retain their two-goal lead. But here's Hernandez trying to pull one back for Mexico. Soro trying to get in between defender and goalkeeper. Ida in possession.
A good little layoff there from Hernandez, who has been, I think, Mexico's best player. Unsupported for the most part up front, but a nice little layoff through. But as usual, the Brazilians were comfortable in defence.
Eto playing it forward. Rivaldo in possession. Suarez there to win it back, but Brazil given up completely on that third goal, battling away to win it back. But now Hernandez for Mexico with the early ball. Good one too. Roberto Carlos, the defender here against Zepeda. The introduction of the two substitutes has just given them a bit more edge again now in the other half of the field. Here's Ronaldinho. Step over by Rivaldo.
We nearly had a double step over, which would have been something sensational, but the ball had enough pace on it and it was intercepted. But that would have been something superb had it got as far as Roberto Carlos with two dummies. Oh, a terrific play from Brazil. You just enthused, you run out of superlatives when you watch them.
And certainly if you're the opponent, you must run out of ideas about how to stop them. And Mexico definitely covered his bear in that respect for them now. They're almost standing back and admiring Brazil themselves. And here's Antonio Carlos getting forward. That's how dominant they are now. Ronaldinho slides a lovely little ball in there, and now Rivaldo.
Another nice bit of play there, delightful stuff, and unselfishness I think caused Alex not to shoot. Maybe if he shot himself, he would have had a better chance of scoring.
Hernandez stretches it wide, and Blanco's got a chance here. Just delayed that vital second.
A distinct chance there for Blanco, but as we've been hinting for some time, the sharpness is gone. He just couldn't draw his leg in time, and of course the ball was cleared, but that was a distinct opening. The Brazilian defence in the right back position was vacant. Cafu had gone, and he had a great chance to turn in there and get one goal back.
Well, it'd be just like Brazil to go and get a goal themselves now, just to say, hey, don't do that. I don't think you could score against us without reply. Have to do better than that. Campos racing through. Luxemburgo, it doesn't exactly look relaxed, does he, considering the players he's got to pick from, but he knows his team are on their way to their third successive Copa America final now, and it will take an almighty performance from Uruguay to stop them retaining their title.
And it'll take an almighty comeback for Brazil, a big plan for Brazil to lose this to Mexico. Mexico will have to do something sensational in the remaining minutes to have any chance at all, because Brazil are so comfortable. They're just running the clock down now.
Ramirez has made a very good contribution since coming on, but that ball too close to Dida. Roberto Carlos turns it infield to Antonio Carlos. Now Beto.
Antonio Carlos is loving this game. He's breaking from the back, linking up like a midfield player, and even going forward into to join the front men on occasion.
Ronaldinho. One defender too many. He's still in there battling. Pardo for Mexico. 3 minutes remaining. One more game for that. It looks as though it's going to be the third place playoff. Blanco, Hernandez, the two link effectively for one of the few times tonight. Nothing comes of it.
Referee not impressed there at all. There was no question of a penalty kick, and Hernandez was super optimist, thinking he had any chance at all of influencing the official.
And the samba beat in evidence all around the stadium here in Ciudad del Este, as the fans who are, well, without question, I think the best supporters in the world when it comes to the music and the joy they bring watching their team play. Well, they're enjoying themselves.
And so is he. I was just commenting that he was breaking from the back, looking happy, settled nicely into the defence, central defence. That looks to be a fixture.
Antonio Carlos has picked up a knock here. They'd certainly be very disturbed to see him in any trouble ahead of Sunday's final. And of course they've used all three substitutes, so they're either down to 10 men or he's got to stay out there now. Alex moves it on to Rivaldo. 3 in the box here, waiting for the cross. Pull back to Ronaldinho. A lovely little chip over, but offside.
A marginal decision there, I'm sure, but a wonderful chip. And Rivaldo just got himself into that offside position, but that's great play. Not much in it, but definitely offside.
Into the last minute in Ciudad del Este of the second semi-final of this Copa America 1999, and we can say almost with certainty now that Uruguay's opponents in the final in Asuncion, the capital city, on Sunday evening will be the holders Brazil.
And who would bet against them?
Well, no one with any sense, that's for sure. No, even a Uruguayan, I suspect.
No, the young Uruguayan team will benefit from the experience, but I can't for the life of me see them doing anything in the final.
Ronaldinho just hits that one. Pass, ironically, has had one of his more solid, dependable matches in Mexico's goal tonight, but hasn't been able to stop Brazil. Stoppage time being played, and there's only a minute of that.
Which is, I think, a compliment to both teams and to the official. He could have stopped the game once or twice for a bit of play acting, but he wasn't in any way taken in. And as a result, we have simply 1 minute of injury time remaining. A good game from the referee's point of view, a comfortable game from a Brazilian point of view.
Yes, Brazil just trying to conserve a little bit of energy now, I'm sure, just keeping out of the way, not getting involved in any dodgy tackles, although the substitutes like Ronaldinho here have got a little bit more. Why didn't the referee wait then? A cruel moment to blow the whistle as he was in full flight. But Brazil won't be too concerned about that. They have won as expected here in Ciudad del Este tonight, beating Mexico City by 2-0, or Mexico even, and duly taking their place in the final of the Copa America. They have reached their third successive final in this tournament, and deservedly so. A fine goal by Amoroso to set them on their way. A great goal by Rivaldo to make it 2-0. Brazil are